Look at you sitting over corner over there waiting for your nice orange juice. Friends, come to the light. Welcome to Crypto's Juiciest News today. We have Bitcoin around $70,000 and we are waiting to see, are we going to get the final 80 days when crypto pumps before the US Fed cuts rates? Of course, friends, right now we are witnessing the boring time, which is very surprising because everybody has been waiting for some sort of big move, some sort of climax, some ending that we have here. We are on the 7th green monthly candle. You notice, right? Every single time when red, we're like, well, we deserve it. We deserve it. It's just like there's been so many signs telling us this is frothy, but surprise, surprise, it's actually still here. It doesn't mean it can't just be destroyed by the end of the month, which is very, very soon, or in April, but it does make you think about Bitcoin's volatility going forward from this point, because the retracements, as we've seen, they are getting smaller and smaller. They are down to, like, here you go, 20%, 20%, 20% here. That's 3 times. This one was also 20%, and this one started to get a bit shallow. It was like 17%. So I saw from Mr. Kevin Svensson, he basically has this huge parabola, okay? And he shows that there's like base 1, base 2, base 3, and then he thinks like this is the last one before a final blow. And I think I was watching on Ivan's show, from around this point, friends, it's a 2x. That's the average parabola. Now, I don't know where they get this from, but it's kind of funny, right? A 2x from here, this exact point will land us at around the $80,000 to $90,000 mark. You know, I remember conceptualizing this many, many years ago. Bitcoin, I said to everyone, I'll never forget this, because friends, I thought in the last cycle that Bitcoin was going to go to 180K. I thought, because I did all the research in 2019. I'm like, well, there's no way this thing is only 1 trillion. There's 110 trillion out in the world. Surely we can get to like a couple of % of that. Okay. So 4 trillion would have been 160, 180K. So what ends up happening is I ended up witnessing the reality of the situation. But okay, here's the thing. Thinking about it, this is back in 2019, a long, long time ago. I believe that you don't sell Bitcoin around 100K the first time. You don't do it. It's going to be a trap. It's the most obvious number from all the retailers. Now you're probably wondering, like, wait a minute, didn't you say 80K before? Yes, friends, that is just in case we got this in a poopy scenario where it drags off and then we have to take one last stab at the end of the cycle. But what we've actually seen is these things has gone up in line. So what we do is we just prepare for this, friends, because preparation is the only way you can make it in this game. You're not trying to say, oh, we'll do this or we'll do that. It doesn't matter. It's like you want to make money no matter what scenario happens. And to make money, you actually have got to be prepared and actually foresee what's coming. So if we do get this final burst up, which is pushing up to 80 to 90K, look, we might look, if altcoins are going ballistic, we're going to have to do something about it. We're probably just going to have to trim something out. It is what it is. Just like, I know it might not be the top forever. So you got to get back out to get back in. I know it makes some people nervous thinking about, hey, it makes me nervous as well. Like, what if you get out and it keeps going? I know, but if you're scared about that, that pretty much means that everyone might be scared. That's why no one's going to sell there. No one's going to sell there. Friends, it might be 90K. Everyone's be like, of course it's going to 100. Okay, so just something to think about. We don't have all the answers, but if you want to just know, okay, what's happened in the previous cycle? So this is the scary part, okay? This is the thing. In 2017, this Mt. Gox cycle, okay, when Bitcoin broke the all-time high, which is around here, that's when everything went nuts. Now, here's the thing, right? We were normally measuring it when you're looking at the new all-time high break. All my videos, okay, well, the significant thing to look at is the all-time high break. But now, it's not. Why? Because we have had an all-time high smash up here. But actually, can you really call it one yet? Can you really call it? Maybe if Bitcoin got to 100, that's the breaking point. So what I'm just trying to do is trying to find an anchor point where you can say, well, it's altcoins are about to like fly, every single altcoin, okay? Because you've noticed some altcoins have gone up, right? Many of them are actually, but not absolutely everything. Not all the smelly old poop from the old cycles, okay? So you see this Bitcoin halvening line? This might be our key. We are around here, okay? We are around here. And also another way to think about it, you see this blow off here? You can remove this. Pretty much we got scammed, friends. This is basically our cycle. That's what the Bitcoin cycle looks like. If you draw it like that, look at that. We go poke about above, And we do this. So you can imagine this is 64K, this is 69K, and you can see it coming out key. So basically, we got robbed last cycle. We were meant to get this parabolic blow off. We didn't get it, okay? But it doesn't really matter at this point. So we're like here. It feels like, and by the way, this is the Bitcoin halving. We're literally here. So if you want to know when did altcoins start going nuts, let's actually do a time frame of that. From the Bitcoin halving, they actually, friends, they started to go on the moon mission literally here, January to Feb. So it's actually 6 months from now. So that's why it's kind of crazy. If we stop and there's no more alts moving, we'll just fast forward 6 months. We start October this year, then we begin. However, if we keep going up for the absolute moonshot, there still might be a 6 month burst, a 6 month wait that we have to do. But what we're just trying to do is figure out what did it take for people to start buying altcoins the exact moment. Obviously, there are a few factors. The Bitcoin halving was already done. That's another thing, okay? You had Bitcoin clearly charging the all-time highs. So we're actually there. We haven't done the Bitcoin halving part. And we have the stock market roaring new highs. Now, here's the thing. Stock market is roaring new highs. So all those conditions are met. There's only one thing left, the Bitcoin halving, which, funny, everybody says it's irrelevant now. They go, oh, it's irrelevant. We'll come back to the high. I don't think so, man. I think that's why we like being contrarian on this side. Now, everyone's waiting to see as well what's happening to Ethereum, friends. Ethereum's still struggling around ETH BTC 0.051. But I'd like to remind you, once again, remember, Ethereum is third cycle. Even though we all like believe in it and love it and everything, it's third cycle now. So it's probably going to take a bigger momentum push from Bitcoin to keep getting things started. I mean, the momentum push is already huge right now. But if this continues to stay heavy for a period of time, well, you won't be surprised now. So that's it. We're just fingers crossed and we're waiting to see what happens. Today's big news, right, was the US government indicting the Kucoin and its two founders for criminal charges in some multi-billion-dollar conspiracy. Here's the thing, friends. This gave me PTSD from 2022. Okay, this type of bad news, it was all happening down here. Okay, there was bad news here. There was bad news here. FTX exchange, when FTX went down, it was that everyone said, that's it. Who's next? Kucoin, all these other exchanges. Come. It was literally just doing this part. So it goes sideways, and then we just smacked up with no news. This was no news, of course, at all. Remember, I told you, friends, smart money, they're buying it up first because they either know the news or they control the news. That's it, going up, and you'll never know. You'll just see the market pricing this stuff in. Also, this is funny. I'm going to play some nice music for them. They said that Ethereum and Litecoin are commodities. That's right. Who the hell wants to even drop Litecoin's name? Like, you are literally a fart in the wind at this point. Completely irrelevant. No one cares about you. The only narrative Litecoin has is faster Bitcoin, and that's dead now. That narrative is obviously really, really old. You don't care about it. Like, you're yawning at the thought of, wow, faster Bitcoin. Golly gee, can I do anything with it? Are there any Ponzi JPEGs on it? No. I don't know, people try to do these inscriptions and ordinal stuff. You never know, friends. At the very, very end of the cycle, Bitcoiners become the shitcoiners, and they bridge even to Litecoin, and they go buy ordinals and stuff on. And that's basically could be the very, very end. But it's funny, right? They named that Ethereum is a commodity. Just to show you, man, the corrupt SEC know all this. We know all this. It's obvious to everyone. Everyone we know. Why did the corrupt SEC pretty much after giving the green light to Rockenegan and everyone to be on Ethereum, why are now saying, oh, it could be security? It's because they still have mosquitoes and cockroaches and other bug friends and other bug eaters themselves who need to get in. They have to sign off on the final signatures. Remember, friends, because they've got a large group of insiders, and these early innovator insiders, they'll just get in whatever, right? They're access to the money printer. But then you have the laggards, the very, very slow bugs, friends, the very slow beetles that can't even fly. They're just walking along the leaf. These types of bugs, these bug eaters, that's basically what's happening. So we've seen this in crypto throughout the beginning of time. Like, they'll sway back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And at the very, very end, when they're about to like accept something, there's always some FUD right before. It's almost like it's some pre-programmed. It's like some FUD, things slow down, they get their insiders in, and then obviously they start scamming us later on. Also, we got to go through this, man. Crapo is bearish. Okay, now this is big news. Although there's 80 days remaining, right, until the US Fed's expected to cut rates. So are we going to get the big acceleration? We'll see. Now, looking at this, friends, this is Crapo's TA, right? Looking at the current price action, I notice that the price is pumping with a decreasing volume. down here. Not sure if it's going to go higher, but there's a strong possibility this move could be fully retraced. Isn't it crazy, man, that the price kept going up. He capitulated. We saw it. But then, as it went up again, he's now short again. That's crazy, man. See, friends, I'll tell you, markets are a moving target. You know, if Crapo really capitulated, if he actually really did, and he's like, you know what? I've given up. I'm totally wrong. You guys win. If he said something like that, then okay, we'll probably go the other way. It's so strange. It's like we consumed his soul. He was too scared to short. But then it went up. He's like, nah, I've got to get back on the horse. Oh, man, imagine we go straight to 90,000 for Bitcoin and send everything nuts. Like, oh, man. Here's the thing. It's not even an embarrassment, friends. People are watching him. So even I'm speaking about him. His network effect is increasing. People aren't going to remember him later on. What he was actually fudded for. That's why we like to track these things, right? So Crapo is bearish. I repeat, Crapo is bearish again. Permission to send us higher has been granted. So, you know, you get to see we're traveling along that parabola. It's been short every step of the way. That's why you sat here with me, friends. I literally gave 4,000 reasons why we should go down. Inverted yield curve, all these other weird stuff, bug eaters, all this stuff. We're going to make too much money unless it happens. I said all these things, and I still said to you, I go, look, despite all of these reasons, I'm turbo long. You saw me every single day. I go, guys, I'm literally, this was back in December, January. I go, I am turbo long. Ultra degen turbo long. Lottery tickets, altcoins, meme coins, buying literally freaking everything, deploying everything squeezing every last bit of juice we can, still turbo long. I go, and my brain is conflicted because I'm like, wait a minute. There's 1,000 reasons why we could collapse to zero. But on the other hand, there are no weak hands in. What, friends, think about this. What mattered more in this scenario? Okay, in every scenario, does it matter the news or the fact that weak hands weren't in? It's the weak hands part, okay? That's the most important lesson you can ever take from me for your entire life. When the weak hand non-believers are in, it doesn't even matter how good or bad the news is. That's dangerous. Very dangerous. Look what happened to Soylana GOFURS, friends. Soylana GOFURS. Some people saying, I haven't even checked my wallet. I don't really care with the Soylana GOFURS. But apparently our price is like meant to be 1,500 and it's down. Here's the chart here. Okay, this is got Soylana GOFURS. I think the entry price for the thing was 1,500. We got 1,500. And look, it's down to 1,100. See, a lot of people complaining, friends. I'm not complaining. I don't care. I know what happened. It's got nothing to do with the launching. It's just too many weak hands. Do you understand? You even notice from the PulseChain and PulseX launch, I did not give any criticism to Richard whatsoever. Never. Because I knew no matter what he did, there's nothing you can do, man. Look, he tried. He tried to avoid the bear market. He tried to delay everything. He tried to make sure, okay, we're in a buying mode. Bitcoin goes up now. Okay, now it's time to launch. Guess what? Everybody's still sold anyway. Everybody's still sold anyway. Why? Now you know this, okay? You can't cheat it. It's a game of being early versus late. That's it. Being early is buying early, and being late is, okay, you're no longer early, so you got to sell. So in this, look, you know this principle now. You can't do anything, man. You can't escape it. That's it. If you are trapped with everybody else who are non-believers, you are going to be experiencing huge downside volatility, collapsing prices, bleeding. That's it. Just prepare for it. It is, okay. And you have to be like training yourself. Hey, there will be periods of time where you think you were early, but you had too many weak hands with you. Just like PulseChain and PulseX sacrifice. There's no criticism for that. You know, the criticism, I guess, is, oh, I should have given me a special privilege and let everybody else at a worse price. Wasn't going to happen. You can't do anything about it. So it's the same thing with Soylana GOFURS. Like I said, friends, I don't care if you guys are listening out there. Do you know how many of you soy boy twinks DM'd me to get into Soylana GOFURS? You know, every single one of them, I know who you are, man. All of you guys are 2 to 4x G flippers. You just want to go up. You don't hold anything longer than like 72 hours, man. Of course, like, oh, well, this is going to be trash, isn't it? And that's what I said, you know, I'm not going to keep adding to the position or anything. I'm just like, leave it. Just throw it in. That's the truth, man. I was like, well, there's too many weak hands. And then, like, to my shock, I saw, oh, there's $2 or $3 million in there put in. I'm like, oh, man, that means there's even more weak hands. So you've got to train yourself, friends. When everyone's feeling good, oh, this is going to work and everything's great. It is what it is. Okay, now the idea can still work. There's still merit to everything. Just telling you, okay, too many weak hands. Soylana chained, yes, there's a lot of users. You don't want all their character type users, man. They're all FTX cheaters. All of them. Richard Hart, cultist, loyalist, okay? Strong leader. Guess what? All the meme coins like DickWifButt, Tangang, Teddy Bear, P-Dye, everybody in there is a strong, devout believer. It's a descendant of Richard Hart. It spreads out, okay? Positive attributes from him. That's what you want in a team. With Soylana, what do they have, friends? Bunch of cheaters everywhere. FTX and Alameda were known to literally just yield farm, dump everything, just sell on a 2x. They were always measuring against the S&P 500, by the way, because they're like, oh, the S&P 500 did 8%. So if we make 25% of our whole capital this year, we have 3x them. We've crushed them. That's pretty much how they thought. So that's all these cheaters. That's why if they get a 2x, they're thinking, oh, plus 100% is made. I'll take it and run. So very unfortunate, but it is what it is. You get to learn the lesson, okay? And that's why when there are no believers, none, such as in eHEX, friends, which has printed its worst monthly candle ever, then that's it. It's going to be good. I'm actually going to show you it right now. Look at this. Okay, shout out to Mr. PulseChain Elon as well for putting this picture up. So thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it. Look at this. Minus 78% red candle close. This is the worst one in history, which is, look, friends, this is no FUD or anything. Okay, so you have to learn this information yourself. But I'm just telling you now. T-shares have now become more scarce on Ethereum. T-shares is your entitlement to the HEX dividend yield. Okay, I'm just using terminology. Okay, and it's becoming more and more expensive to own it. Why? Because if you want heaps of T-shares, then the gas fees become more and more extreme. Okay, so they're harder and harder to get. And people who with the T-shares now, a lot of them are bleeding out. There are heaps of people, as every day goes on, it bleeds out because every day that the HEX stake rolls over, it has to do more calculations. And so Ethereum, basically the chain charges you more for it. So it's a race against time. Pretty much Richard's like, we're not going to win this race against time. We can't keep adding value. Let's go to PulseChain. Okay, but that's the T-share stuff. So if you have this argument that, well, HEX has to go up just because of the T-shares, no, it doesn't. Look at this. It's getting more scarce. What's going on here? Okay, so you have to balance these things out together. But that's the thing, right? It's down 78% in the monthly close. That's why, friends, a lot of people are screaming like you can't. When you do 78% down in a month, you're not getting your profit like in the week or two. You know what I mean? It needs a couple of candles to close and retrace here and there. Also, got to remind you, I still run into people today. You can buy eHEX on PulseChain. So app.piteas, Piteas.io. You can do that. Type in eHEX. You can also get it on 9-inch exchange. You can get it on PulseX itself as well. But just it's annoying with PulseX because there's a long lag. Everyone has to remove the auto router button and stuff here and there. Just use Piteas for now. Aggregator. You can get it. I'm sure there's 9mm. 9mm.pro. I think it's dex.9mm.pro. So 9mm guys, they have Uniswap V3, which is amazing that we could do that. So you have all these opportunities out here to participate. So I'm just going to show you that eHEX chart again, friends. Obviously, like a lot of people asking, why I'm focused on eHEX? Look, man, because the capitulation was so big. I run into these, friends, you know. It's like, oh, but yes, there's other coins going up. That's why I know what you guys want to do. Everyone wants, oh, show us DickWifButt. Show us DickWifButt. Yes, we have a teddy bear flipping. I'll make another video and stuff on this. Yes, it's nice. Back to 5 million market cap. Yay, can we go flip it? Yeah. I know that, friends. I know. But here's the thing, man. That's momentum game. That's momentum game. And guess what? Momentum game's fun, but that's not my bread and butter. Okay, so we love DickWifButt. We want everything to go up. It's just my bread and butter is literally, okay, this. That's what my bread and butter is. And change it to the pulse ratio because here's the thing, man. If something capitulates, all right, everyone wants to run away. But I will say, wait a minute. You're cheap. I wonder what I can chart you against to show me how cheap you are. Okay, and I've done it here for you, friends. That's why I have it on the eHEX pulse ratio. Okay, change to the pulse pricing up here. I have it in the box here. Okay, see this whole box? Buy eHEX and DCA as a drop. So we don't know, man. It could go down here, close this week, do whatever. But then eventually, we don't know when. Okay, you hope that it comes back into here somewhere where you're selling eHEX and you get more pulse. So just to remind you, like let's say you had some sort of lottery ticket entry in. If you sold it back here up at 50, you get 153% return on your PLS. So it could be you put in 10 million, you had 10 million pulse, rotate it to eHEX, when you sell it back there, you get 250 million back. Sorry, 25 million. So 10 million into 25 million. Now, here's the thing, okay? It's not the most exciting thing because you're in other altcoins, you're trying to make 1,000% return. So you're trying to put 10 million, make 100 million back, or 10 million, make 200 million back, Pulse. But this is just, that's why I'm telling you, like, this is just a, the volatility of it. I know there's a big destruction candle now, but its volatility, it's pretty much, it's safer than everything else. Even though everyone's like, what? How could you use the word safe with eHEX? Yeah, I know, it's crazy because liquidity sticker, friends, there are still people with HEX stakes. You know that, right? eHEX stakes. Friends, don't trust them, man. You don't trust them for 1 second. In terms of what I'm saying is, when the bull market heats up, they're going to start an eHEX narrative, okay? And they're not telling you to buy it down here. No. Okay, they're not telling you to buy it down here. When the ratio is probably extreme, they're going to tell you, no, it's going to keep going up. Meanwhile, they have stakes coming out. That's what's going to happen. See, once the price goes up, greed takes over. And they got that. People will start a narrative trying to say, oh, well, eHEX is going back to $1 and stuff. Guess what they'll be doing? They'll be ending their stakes and getting out. And they'll be very, very thankful. That's the whole game. The whole game is to do that. Okay, so just that's why you remember me. Literally, you remember your friend saw me as this price is literally poop in the bed, diarrhea, bleeding, everything, all in between in the emergency section. You remember me with this box, okay? I don't care if this goes down to negative numbers, okay? You remember me here as the person, the friend who was running into the burning building, trying to save all the kiddies and all the orange juice cups and everyone else, okay, with the fire extinguisher. You remember me doing that and telling you, hey, the price is cheap now. Because when people love it, ain't going to be cheap prices, do you understand that? And they will love this at some point in the time, okay? Because everything that goes low has a bounce back. People are going to call it dead cat bounce. It is what it is. It doesn't really matter. You know intuitively, you go, wait a minute, there's people with stakes out there, man. There's people with stakes, friends. Think about this, right? There are people, they might have, let's say eHEX goes up with the rest of Pulse, PulseX, and everything else going up. And let's say someone's got a stake out there for like 30 grand, okay? And they know, they go, wait a minute, it's 30 grand and my gas fee is going to cost like $10,000. Right, so guess what they're going to be doing? They're going to be trying to tell everyone, well, eHEX is valuable and stuff here and there, you know, because they want to keep it above that threshold for like, you know, just for the next month or two so they can get their stake out and dump it. But right now, no one can see that. No one can see the light. I can see the light, okay? So that's what I'm trying to do here. See, this is the, friends, this is the game, okay? When I'm multiple steps ahead, at the tops of ranges, I'm the enemy. You understand? Because I'm like, oh no, we've run out of buyers. Things are going to start sliding down. Okay, then everything I'm talking about is FUD. FUD. When we're down, okay, and I'm like, hey, time to launch back up. I am seen as a crazy lunatic. Even in the comment section, I read people say like, he wants to be right so bad. He just can't stop talking about it. He's so underwater. That's all these people say. Completely wrong. They don't watch anything properly. All they do, they're just blindsided to it. Okay, so constantly, that's what happens, okay? The crowd wants you to be exactly one step ahead. Exactly one step. You can't do that. Sometimes you can only be 4 steps ahead. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, 4 steps ahead. We're eventually going to sink away, but then we keep going up. And it's the same thing. Okay, so this is just the nature of the chaotic markets. And you can't expect any different. Because if we could predict these things constantly, you'd be buying and selling all the time. When our moves are very, very rare, uncommon, got to be big macro swings here and there. Okay? Got more video content for you coming out later on, friends. Like, subscribe, Billy Button, all. Catch you soon.